Hi there, Joby Baker here. Final stages of a Mark Perry record. The mixers are happy, everybody signed off on them, and so I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk briefly about the master chain. I have spoken about this before, but not in very much detail. This is a bit of a dry subject, but for those of you who are interested, hopefully this is interesting. So first of all, I just want to take it from here. I find that in Pro Tools, you got to run your mixes quiet. You don't want to push your master fader too much. So I've got my master fader down -7 dB, and so that it's coming out into the analog world not too hot, pretty hot, but not that hot. First of all, I've got this Brainworx EQ. This is a pretty cool piece. It can split up the mono signal from the stereo signal, so you can EQ each one of those separately. It's a very useful mastering tool. I don't have much happening on this really. I'm using it to spread the stereo field hair, and also I'm pulling out 1.5 dB of 300 Hertz. Really nothing going on there really to speak of. So after that, it's going out of Pro Tools via an insert right there, you can see, and it's going into this Alan Smart Smart Research C2. Now this is a great comp. It's like an SSL, and I find it really glues the mix together nicely. Now, as you can see, the thresholds, yeah, it's pretty high. The mix is quite hot, so I need to sort of bring it up quite a bit because I don't want to get too much compression. My ratio is 2:1. The attack is 1 millisecond, and release is on automatic. Now the makeup, this is what's sending to my tube tech. So I'm probably getting about 2 dB-ish, or 1.5 dB of gain. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe 2.5 dB of gain on this. And I don't like to hit this too hard, because otherwise the mix will start to sound a little squishy. So I'm getting about tops 2 dB gain reduction on this mix. This is where it's going to after that, the TubeTech SM2B, sorry. Now what this is doing is splitting the signal into 3 parts, depending on what I have set here. So everything below 120 Hertz is here, and then between 120 Hertz and 4.5K is this middle section, and on the top is 4.5K up, all the way up to 22 or more, is this top band here. So first of all, the low frequencies, you got to be careful with lows and compression. This actual box here is actually great because it can handle it, so it doesn't distort. But some boxes I find will be a little bit sketchy when you get your attack and release too fast. You'll start getting low frequency distortion. So you've got to be really careful of that. Now, I'm actually trying to hit my my low frequency fairly hard, so I'm getting up to probably up to 4 dB of gain reduction at the peaks here, because I don't want it to be too bassy. And I've also, these are the outputs here. I've also turned down the low frequency overall a little bit. The mid-range threshold is quite high. I don't want to get too much gain reduction on this because I want the mix to stay open sounding. Yeah. Now your highs, on the other hand, I'm noticing that there are some slight SE issues, and I'm not a fan of too much sibilance, but at the same time I want to keep it open. So what I've got here is yeah, quite a low threshold and very fast attack and release with about an 8:1 ratio. And so, but I'm also boosting the high end, so that's giving me overall air, but at the same time it's controlling it by de-essing it slightly and grabbing onto anything that's hitting too hard. And with this one here, I'm probably getting a dB of gain, so it's pretty minute really. But I like what it does to the mix. It sort of tidies it all up. Lastly, we have the Manley Very Mu limiter, and this is a great piece to be in the last in the chain. I'm using it as a limiter. The recovery is real slow, the attack's fast, the threshold's real high, because I don't want it to, well, you can probably see this one better. Yeah, basically the needles are barely moving. Yeah, that one's pretty much that. Again, like with any of this stuff, I find if the needles start moving too much, you can start to hear it. So I try to be as subtle as possible. Then finally, over here back in Pro Tools, I'm going through this Sony Inflator and probably getting another dB.5 of gain out of this. I'm hitting it real gentle. And this is kind of like a limiter, but it's a little bit different. It inflates the volume, the overall volume, but maintaining the peaks. So yeah, in a sense, it's working like a limiter. But finally, I have my L316, which is it's a good waves look ahead limiter. This is the last piece in the chain. Now you've got these 6 bands here that you can adjust which frequency to focus on, and you can boost or cut certain frequencies or accentuate it to focus on compressing a certain frequency by adjusting the priority. This is a pretty sophisticated piece. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's very clear and open, and I've got about 2 dB of gain on that. That's it, really. That's my master chain on the Mark Perry record. I hope you enjoy.